The thing I love about tofu eggs is that, when you look at the nutritional facts on here, there's no cholesterol in here. There's only 15 grams of sodium. There is 8 grams of protein. Only 1 gram of sugar. There's fiber, 1 gram of fiber, so that cancels the sugar if you're counting things from a dietitian aspect. And you just take the tofu, you pour all the water off like that, and then you take and you squeeze it like that, and you just crumble it. And this is how this is one way to do your scrambled eggs. Now another way is you can slice it really thin and it'll look like traditional eggs. But we're going to do it this way. And you just crumble it like that. I like to let the tofu sit out on the counter because it's usually too cold for my hands when I do it this way. Of course, we wash our hands before we do this. And so I had mine sitting out on the counter as soon as I started chopping and everything like that to give it some time. And see, the liquid with tofu eggs, they dry quickly. So you have to make sure that you keep adding just a little bit of water, or you can add a little bit of margarine so that you keep that soft texture and so that it doesn't get dry. A lot of people, I've had their tofu eggs and they're very dry because you can overcook it. And so you want to keep the eggs moist so they resemble regular eggs. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mix that through there, okay? And one more thing I forgot to tell you, the thing that I love about tofu eggs is that, they taste so good, and you don't have to feel guilty when you eat them, as long as you don't baptize them in oil or salt, putting too much salt or oil. But see, with regular eggs, there's a lot of cholesterol in it, and the cholesterol is what is a detriment to our health in so many different ways. So if you've got high cholesterol, that comes from eating too many eggs and or eating too much meat. That's where you get that cholesterol getting up there too high, and then you start getting high blood pressure. And then when your cholesterol is too high, you're asking for a stroke and heart attack and things like that. And you don't want your cholesterol levels to be high. So this is a way to prevent that from happening by having tofu eggs instead. Okay, so I'm going to turn that up again. So we've got that all mixed through. All right, and I'm going to keep a little cup of water to the side just in case I need to add a little bit of water. Okay, now for the seasonings, we're going to be using some salt. I like to use pink salt, Himalayan salt, the Himalayan pink salt, extra fine. Okay, that's really good if you have high blood pressure. It's better to use that than just the regular salt. So you can put salt to taste, okay? I'm not really going to have a lot of measurements for this because, everybody has their own way that they like things to taste. But if you want to put a teaspoon of salt or more, you can do that. Just sprinkle it on, do salt to taste. And then I like putting lots of garlic powder, or you can use fresh garlic. There is so much medicinal value in just having garlic. It's just really good for you. It lowers your blood pressure. It keeps you from catching things. Fresh is best though, but we're going to use garlic powder. I'd say if I was measuring, I'd probably use about a tablespoon of garlic powder, or a half a tablespoon of garlic powder. Okay, but you can do salt to taste and put in it how much, I mean, all these different seasonings. You can do it how you want to do it, but this is how I do it. And then I put some onion powder, maybe a couple teaspoons or another half a tablespoon or something like that. And then I was over someone's house one day, and they made me the best tofu eggs. It was Sister Marvelita when my husband and I were pastoring in Tupelo. And oh man, it was so good. And I was trying to figure out her seasonings, and one of the things she put in it was rosemary, and it just, I don't know, it just takes it to a whole nother level. So you can put just a little bit. I mean, you don't have to put a lot, maybe like a half a teaspoon or something like that. If you really like it, you can add a whole teaspoon. I like the grinded kind that you put in there. I don't too much use the powdered kind, but anyway, it's coming out really slow because this bottle's almost done. But you can basically see the gist, just a little bit. And then another thing I like to put is the veg. This actually has what is called black salt. You can get this from the health food store. Let's see, make sure you can see this okay. And it's called the Veg, VEGG. And there. It's really good. It has an eggy taste. And guess how they get that eggy taste? And I put a couple teaspoons in there. And they get the eggy taste from using black salt, okay? Black salt comes from I can't remember, a rock or something like that. But you can get this, let me show you, from like an international store, like an Indian store or Mediterranean store. It's called black salt. Or you can say kala namak. It's called that. And you can get that from an international store. And you put it just a little bit, not a lot. And it tastes just like eggs. It's really something. And so I've mixed that through there. But you don't need to do both. Either do one or the other, the black salt or the veg. The veg is probably going to be better health-wise because the black salt has high content in sodium. So when I use it, I mean, I use maybe 1/8 teaspoon because it's very salty, and you want to put it like in a liquid or something so that it spreads, the flavor spreads through. So maybe like a tablespoon of water or something like that. Or if you're making potato salad, you add it in the mayonnaise, so that the vegan mayonnaise, so that you have that eggy flavor. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to add is some turmeric. Now you don't have to add a lot. A little bit goes a long way. So let's start out with a half a teaspoon of turmeric, and let's see how that does. That probably is going to do it. I think so. And this is again for one package. The turmeric, there's a lot of health values with eating turmeric, but we're just using it to color the egg so that it looks, tofu eggs, so that it looks yellow. You can add pepper if you want to have a little spice. And see how it's turned yellow? You don't have to add a lot, because if you add too much, it'll dry out the eggs. Now these eggs are just fine. Okay, you can put some seasoning salt if you want to in there, and you know, just make it your own, but they're really good. Now see, and there, that looks just like eggs. Look at that. Look at all that goodness. Alright, now I'm going to taste it and see if it needs anything else. That's good. I think it needs a little bit more salt, so I'm going to add some seasoning salt. Tofu, you really have to season it. it's very little coming out of here. I don't know if you guys can tell that. And it needs some more garlic powder. I'm just sprinkling a little bit, but I actually like using a lot of garlic powder. It makes it so good. It's really good. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of this because I want to have that eggy taste. So you may want to put like a tablespoon of this in there to really get that flavor. You're just going to have to keep adding it till it is the desired taste that you like. Now, because I've added more seasonings, what I'm going to do to bring out the flavor, instead of adding oil, I'm going to add a little bit of water. Okay? A little bit of water. That's going to bring out the flavor of the veg. Give it that eggy taste. Just let's add a little bit more. You can't put too much because this will all cook out. And then it won't be too dry. And it'll have that egg consistency. And then all the flavors will kind of marry. Okay. Let's taste it one more time. During the Corona season, I try to use a different spoon or utensil each time to taste it. See if you can see that. I guess you can't see it. There we go. Okay. Okay. That's about right, but you know, you just keep on adding until it gets the flavor that you want. You can even add mushrooms in here as well. And you can do bell peppers. My sister likes to add olives. I do too. And so there's just so many ways you can do it. But this is the way we're doing it today. So congratulations on a happy, healthy you. Make it your own. Add the seasonings that you like. I'm probably going to add a few more seasonings myself. You know, just a little bit more. I also like adding, it's called the Tony's Cacciatore, or I say it wrong every time, but you just make it your own and add what you like. And I think that your family will really enjoy it. Fresh is best, so the more onions and the more garlic you use, you can even add a little margarine in there to give it that buttery flavor. I know I used to put butter in my eggs, and that just made it really good when I would eat regular eggs. So congratulations and enjoy being a happy, healthy you. All right.